Have you ever wondered where the hell do hippos, lions or mosquitoes live in the world? Don't worry, I will show you. This first map shows us where do flamingos live, the beautiful pink-colored birds. Well, I guess they can be found on every continent, but mostly in Africa. But to be honest, I didn't know that there were so many flamingos living in Europe as well. And what about Florida? They really have every animal there, don't they? And now I guess these blue triangles mean that they have been spotted there, in China for example. Let's move on with this predator, the cheetah. Around 100,000 cheetahs lived on Earth 100 years ago, but today the number has decreased more than 15 times. Today there's only around 5,000 cheetahs alive. Humans are literally the worst predator on this planet. However, tell me, have you ever been able to see a cheetah? Ostriches, the large flightless birds. They are the heaviest birds on the planet, and as you can see, they can be found in Africa. It is estimated that no more than 150,000 ostriches remain in the wild, although many species have already gone extinct, such as the Arabian ostrich. Call this little guy how you want, the snow fox or the Arctic fox. As you can see, they live in most of the northern countries and territories, such as Alaska, Canada, Greenland, Russia, Norway, Scandinavia and even Iceland. But the Arctic is home to more than 630,000 Arctic foxes, and they are not currently at risk from extinction, but populations are declining. That's sad. Now, can you guess this animal? They live in Greenland, Canada, Alaska, Russia and the Svalbard archipelago of Norway. If you did, then great job. It is the polar bear, the most dangerous bear. It is estimated that there are currently around 25,000 polar bears worldwide, but without actions on climate change, we could lose them by the end of this century. Let's move on with the moose. As you know, I'm from Estonia and I can confirm they are really common here. And they are the size of a horse, believe it or not, some species are even bigger. However, they are usually not aggressive towards humans, but if necessary, they can run up to 56 kilometers per hour. And to make it more interesting for you, here is the moose population density by country. What can I tell? Sweden is wildin', as well as most of Scandinavia and the Baltic countries. Bats are fascinating animals, the only true flying mammal. There are over 1,400 species of bats in the world. That's almost 20% of all mammal species. They live basically everywhere on Earth, except the most extreme deserts and polar regions. But Central and South America are home to almost 1/3 of the world's bat species. Now, you tell me, have you ever seen a bat in your house? Because I have. It was scary. We move on with animals in South America. Here's where the alpacas live. There are thought to be around 3 million alpacas worldwide, with 94% living in South America. They are often confused with the llamas, however, alpacas are often smaller than llamas. The kangaroos. There are 4 species of them, indigenous to Australia and New Guinea. The Australian government estimates that 40 million kangaroos live in Australia as of 2024. However, that's 13 million kangaroos less than 10 years ago in 2013. Again, another animal that we're losing. What you're looking at now is a map showing the most popular and recognizable kangaroo, the red kangaroo. Australians, tell us in the comments, have you ever seen one and are they dangerous or not towards humans? Time for another flightless bird, the penguin. Isn't it crazy that they can be found even in Peru and the Galapagos Islands? I honestly didn't know that. And the same thing with South Africa. I'm really surprised. And Australia and New Zealand, no, this has to be a joke. In the world, there might be more, but 44 million, that's the estimated penguin population in Antarctica. Where do hippopotamuses live? Did I say it right? Hippos. As you can see in Africa, there are remaining 130,000 hippos left in the world, but there is actually one place where hippos are also living. That's Colombia, and because of Pablo Escobar, they are spreading fast. However, did you know that hippos kill around 500 humans a year? They are one of the deadliest animals on this planet. Answer me this, what do we get if we put a horn to a hippo? Yes, you're right, a rhino. Now, you listen carefully. At the beginning of the 20th century, 500,000 rhinos roamed Africa and Asia. That was 500,000 rhinos. But today, in total, there are only about 27,000 rhinos left in the world. We humans truly are horrible. Let's move on with the closest animal to human, the chimpanzee. Chimps are native to West and Central Africa, living in the savanna and forests there. It is estimated that there are between 170,000 and 300,000 chimpanzees living in the wild. However, as an endangered species, this number is continually declining, because there were 2 million chimpanzees 100 years ago. Well, time for the slowest animal on the planet, the sloth. They also happen to be the cutest animals. Sloths live in the tropical forests of Central and South America. While population estimates can vary, it is generally believed that there are several 100,000 sloths in the world. Believe it or not, but 10,000 years ago, this cute animal was around 3 meters tall. Not so cute after all. Mosquito habitat in 2019. The colors show us the number of months per year when disease transmission is possible. Now, in 2050, mosquitoes are slowly taking over the world. And finally, in 2080, mosquitoes are taking over the world. This time for real. Here is the next map, showing us where the sheep live, and I think it's obvious. The bigger the country is, the more sheep they have. China, Australia, New Zealand and North Africa are leading this map, but I don't know about North America. Here's a map showing us where elephants live, both African and Asian species. Did you know that 100 years ago there were more than 12 million elephants in the wild? Today it's estimated that there are less than 400,000 elephants remaining. So let's try this again. Here's a map showing us where African elephants live. Yeah. What you can see is the list of grey wolf populations by country. The areas in green show us where grey wolves live right now, and the areas in red is where they used to live. So this again proves that the human habitat destruction is real. However, in some countries it's the other way around. Take a look at Italy, for example. There have never been so many grey wolves in the country than right now. Let's move on. Here's a map showing us where giant pandas live in dark orange versus where giant pandas used to live in bright orange. I don't know the exact number, but the peak of pandas was around 50,000 years ago. However, the number of wild giant pandas in China has increased from around 1,000 in the 80s to nearly 2,000 right now. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen a panda? While we're already talking about bear species, let's take a look at the brown bear. It mostly lives in the forests and mountains of northern North America, Europe and Asia. It is also the most widely distributed bear in the world. However, the country with the most brown bears is Russia with 130,000 of them. Wow, that's a lot. I will not tell you the animal right now, but tell me in the comments, can you guess the animal just by looking at this map? Well, if you did, great job, it's zebra. So, here's an even more detailed map of the 3 species of zebras living in Africa. Time for the cutest little animal in the world, the hedgehog. You know, I've had many of these little guys run around my garden, but overall there are estimated to be less than 1 million remaining in the wild. To be honest, I really didn't know even India had hedgehogs. But they do, and they are called the Indian hedgehogs. Wow, what a surprise, right? The distribution of orangutans. This map was made a few years ago, but believe it or not, it's already really outdated. Overall, in 2024, there are only around 60,000 orangutans left in the world. As you can see, they are only found in these 2 islands, Sumatra and Borneo. If you're from one of these islands, let me know it in the comments and tell me, have you seen an orangutan yourself? This map of Australia shows us where koalas live. Koala, is that how you say it? Koala. Well, whatever. The Australian fire season was one of the most deadly seasons ever. Nearly 3 billion animals lost their lives, including koalas. So yeah, they are also declining in population. Right now, as of 2024, there are a bit less than 100,000 koalas left in the world. Here's a fun map showing where rabbits live in the world, or you could also call them bunnies. Some sources say there are around 700 million of them, but ChatGPT told me 1.5 billion. I guess we'll never know the exact number, huh? But there sure is a lot of them. Distribution of cows worldwide. Similarly to rabbits, there's an estimated 1 billion cows on our planet. Did you know that in Uruguay there are over 12 million cows? That means it can be said that Uruguay is the country with the highest number of cows per humans. That means 3.8 cows per 1 human. Che, vamos arriba los gurises de Uruguay, vamos. This next map shows us where the red fox lives. Isn't it interesting how the distribution of the red fox in Egypt is only next to the Nile River? The exact number of red foxes in the world is not known, but they are very widespread and the population is considered to be stable. That means not declining, but you never know. And again, I will give you 5 seconds to guess this animal, and if you did, let me know it in the comments. If you guessed it, perfect! This map shows us the distribution of the giraffe. But now let's look at a more realistic map. As of February 2024, there are only 117,000 giraffes left in the world. So every giraffe is important and matters. Also, did you know that the West African giraffe is rarer than the mountain gorilla? While we already mentioned gorillas, here's their habitat map, and as you can see, their situation isn't any better. Well, the overall picture isn't that bad as there are over 300,000 gorillas in the world, both western and eastern species. But the problem is that there are only around 1,000 mountain gorillas left in the wild. That means endangered. Similarly to the brown bear, the beaver lives in North America, Europe and Asia. Before the fur trade between the 16th and 19th century, there were an estimated 200 million North American beavers. Today, North America only has 15 million. Europe and Asia have much less, around a few million. What the hell? To make you even more sad, here's the distribution map of the lion, both present day and historic. 100 years ago, the lion population was approximately 200,000. Now, as of 2024, it's estimated to be less than 23,000. What the heck? At this current rate of habitat loss and poaching, African lions could be completely extinct as of 2050. You know what, these historic range versus current range distribution maps are pretty interesting, aren't they? This one is about the tiger. So, isn't it surprising how historically tigers used to live in Kazakhstan, the Korean peninsula and Russia also? That was all 100 years ago when the world had around 200,000 tigers. Today it has decreased by 95%, are you kidding me? Leaving us with approximately only 4,500 tigers. This is just sad. This one shows us where the huntsman spider lives, or at least where it has been spotted. Yeah, basically, this map shows you the places I'm never going to go to. The huntsman spiders don't spin webs, instead they jump. But yes, they are really big, commonly up to the size of your palm, sometimes even larger. Jesus. We move on with daddy long legs, and did you know that they aren't actually spiders and they don't have any venom? They are arachnids, but so are ticks and scorpions. As you can see, they live all around the world, and during summertime in Estonia, when I go to my campsite, it's always full of them. The entire ceiling. And you know why? Because they keep together to stay warm. Oh god, the wolf spiders. And they have figured out how to live just about anywhere in the world, as you can see. So no one is safe. There are around 2,300 species of wolf spider in the world, and they are not venomous, but they can bite and puncture human skin. Again, in my house, these bastards can be found and they are freaking fast. That's why wolf spiders are called the sprinters of the spider world. Let me introduce to you the Australian funnel web spider. They are extremely venomous, but they live in Australia, so thank God. I'm sorry, Australians. Not all species are known to be dangerous, but some are known for their highly toxic and fast-acting venom. Although no deaths have been recorded since 1981, it remains an icon of fear and fascination for the Sydney-siders. People from Sydney, have you ever seen one? The time has come, the Black Widow. Now let's break the myth. They are not the world's deadliest spider. You just have to wait, we will soon get to the most venomous spider. But in the United States each year, about 2,500 people report being bitten by a black widow and only 4 to 8 die. But still, I'm quite surprised how spread the black widow is worldwide. What you are looking at is where the Mexican red-knee tarantula lives. Last year I went to Guerrero in Mexico, and little did I know that I had these little friends close to me. I am calling them friends because the Mexican red-knee tarantulas are the most popular choice as pets among tarantula keepers. They can live up to 30 years, and don't be worried, the Mexican red-knee tarantulas are not venomous for humans and less likely to bite you. Call this one how you want. The Brazilian wandering spider or the banana spider. They are the most venomous spiders in the world. The wandering spiders are called the wandering spiders because they wander the jungle floor at night rather than maintaining a web. And they might visit your house when you buy bananas, so be careful. About 4,000 bites reportedly happen each year in Brazil, but only 15 deaths have been attributed since 1903. This next one can be called the sun spider or the camel spider. Sun spiders are found throughout the world in mostly tropical and subtropical areas. They mostly look like scorpions, but sun spiders are not venomous. They are also famous for chasing people, something that if you're not expecting, it can understandably be quite alarming. Oh god, the Sicarius spider. This is my nightmare. Imagine taking sun at a beach and this bastard shows up under your towel. And to make it worse, it has a highly toxic venom. They live in dry forests and deserts throughout southern Africa, South America and Central America. Well, the Goliath bird-eater tarantula, the biggest spider in the world. Can you believe it? The leg span of this bastard is 30 centimeters. Bro, do you understand that this is half of a newborn human baby? They live in the rainforest regions of northern South America, including Venezuela, northern Brazil, Guyana, French Guiana and Suriname. Now, let's move on with the hobo spider. As you can see, they live in the northern western states of the United States. The hobo spider is also a funnel web spider, but not to be confused with the Australian funnel web spider that we mentioned before. Overall, hobo spider venom is not toxic to humans, but some people may experience a skin reaction. Hobo actually means a homeless person, and we call them hobo spiders since they expand their distribution by hitching rides with humans along major highways in the Pacific Northwest. Well, the red-back spider. Now, don't confuse this bad boy to our famous black widow. They are really similar, but in reality, while both spiders can cause serious health effects, the black widow is much more venomous. But still, the red-back spider is also dangerous, but it's mostly found in Australia again. Here's a fun comparison between the Australian funnel web spider and the red-back spider. We move on with another tarantula, this time the Chilean rose tarantula, or also known as the rose hair tarantula. This tarantula is native to Chile, Argentina and Bolivia in the deserts. They are also famous among pet keepers, and people love the Chilean rose tarantula for its slow and calm movements. Females can live up to 20 years in human care, but the males pass away a few months after mating. Plesi. It's the smallest species of spider in the world, and they can be found living in Samoa. While the Goliath bird eater has a 30 cm leg span, the Plesi spiders have a leg span of only 0.3 mm. Do you understand? It is so small that 10 of them could fit on the end of a pencil. Anyone watching this video, tell me, have you ever seen a Plesi in real life? And if so, how the hell? Listen up. Portia is a breed of a jumping spider that feeds on other spiders. Oh yes, you just heard that right. A freaking jumping spider that eats other spiders. Mostly, they live in Africa and Asia and northern Australia as well, so thank God Europeans and Americans. They are also known as the most intelligent spider and remarkable for their intelligent hunting behavior. That also suggests that they are capable of learning and problem solving, traits normally attributed to much larger animals. This last map shows us where all spider breeds live in the world. In conclusion, no one is safe. Well, if you live in the middle of Greenland, then maybe yes, but there are more than 45,000 known species of spiders in the world, and if I'm not lying, then that should be around 21 quadrillion spiders. What the hell? Where does the beluga whale live? Well, as this map shows, they live in the Arctic and subarctic waters, including areas around Canada, Alaska, Greenland and Russia. It is estimated that today their population is 150,000 individuals. But 100 years ago it was around 300,000. This is due to their hunting and the habitat destruction. Let's move on with a rather scary fish. This is the piranha. Thank God they only live in South America, not on any other continent. Mostly in the Amazon River basin and other rivers and lakes in South America, including the Orinoco River. I know that piranhas are usually made that terrible by the Hollywood movies, but in reality they are not that dangerous. Yes, sometimes they do attack humans, but killing humans is very rare. However, in 2022, 4 people were killed in 3 separate attacks by piranhas in Paraguay. Before I reveal this next sea animal, let me see if you can guess it. Comment down below, and if you get it right, I'm gonna give you a heart. Yes, of course, it is the jellyfish. There is not much explanation needed, they are found in every single ocean of the world. A fun fact about them is that jellyfish are approximately 95% water, and they lack a centralized brain, heart and bones. Well, let's move on with the giant squid. They live in deep ocean waters, usually at depths ranging from 300 to 1000 meters. They are found across all of the world's oceans, but most oftenly in colder regions like the North Atlantic, around Japan and near New Zealand. The exact population is unknown as these creatures are rarely seen. They are extremely hard to study, but not to be believed as endangered. Now, one of our favorite sea animals, the dolphin. They live in both deep ocean waters and shallow coastal waters. Some species even live in the Amazon River. They are highly intelligent animals, and today there are about 600,000 common dolphins and around 200,000 bottlenose dolphins. But yeah, the population 100 years ago, especially before widespread hunting, was a lot more. This is where the octopus lives. They are found in oceans all across the world, from shallow coastal waters to the deep sea, at depths over 2000 meters. Similarly to dolphins, they are incredibly intelligent. And to make you happy, they are not currently endangered, they are pretty stable. Tell me, have you ever seen an octopus with your own eyes? The giant crabs, or often described as the Japanese spider crabs, are the largest species of crab. They are mostly found in the Pacific Ocean around Japan, but in some other parts of the world as well. This crab has the longest leg span of any arthropod, reaching up to 3.7 meters from claw to claw. The loggerhead sea turtle. They are found in most oceans around the world, particularly in temperate and tropical regions. They prefer coastal habitats and oceanic waters such as the Atlantic, Pacific and Indian Oceans. Today, it is estimated that there are around 100,000 nesting females, but the exact numbers are hard to determine. But of course, 100 years ago, there were much more, before of the extensive hunting and habitat destruction. Oh god, the scary fish, the anglerfish. Me as an Estonian, I am surprised because I thought they would live somewhere around Japan, but they live really close to me in the Atlantic and Antarctic oceans. However, you will probably not see them because they live 200 to 2000 meters below sea level. Where do the great white sharks live? As this map shows, yeah, in most of our oceans, especially in the western coast of the United States, then close to Japan and Australia and maybe close to Spain. They are involved in an average of 5 to 10 unprovoked attacks on humans each year worldwide. However, fatal attacks are rare, averaging to less than one person per year. However, the human kills hundreds and thousands of sharks every year. Where do sea lions live? Well, mostly along the coasts of North and South America, New Zealand, Australia and Asia. Today, it is estimated that there are in total around 400,000 sea lions. When I was traveling in Uruguay 3 years ago, I actually got to see them at the beach and that was incredible. They are highly intelligent. We started this video off with the beluga whale, but what about the blue whale? They are found in all of the world's oceans except the Arctic. And they prefer deep ocean waters. As you already may know, they are the largest animals ever known to have lived on Earth. An adult blue whale can grow to a massive 30 meters long and weigh more than 180,000 kilos. That's about the same as 40 elephants, 30 Tyrannosaurus rexes and 3,000 average-sized men. Let's move on with this cute and a little bit dangerous animal, the manta ray. As you can see, they live in the tropical and subtropical areas, often near coral reefs. This surprised me, but believe it or not, their fins can reach to a span up to 7 meters, making them among the largest of all rays. Where do the seahorses live? As we can see, they don't usually live in the deep oceans but rather close to our land. Again, mostly in tropical and subtropical areas. Again, what is surprising me is that they live in the Black Sea but not the Caspian Sea. Like, where's the logic in that? We end this video with my favorite sea animal, the Magnapinna squid. I know, we talked about giant squids before, but this one is a lot bigger. They are extremely rare and only a few have been spotted near the Gulf of Mexico. Here's some crazy footage of that. These squids live really deep down in the oceans, so they are extremely rare to spot. Every year around 600 wild lions are killed. Making things worse, over the past decades, these predators have lost 94% of their historic range. 2000 years ago, more than 1 million lions roamed the earth. That means in 2000 years, we have lost 98% of lions. That is crazy. This next map shows us the tiger's current and historic range. Right now, about 5,500 tigers remain in the wild. But just over a century ago, 100,000 wild tigers roamed across Asia. On the bright side, the tiger population has been growing a bit in the last decades, especially in India. But leaving that out, tigers have lost around 95% of their population in the last 100 years. Also, here's a not so fun fact. Tigers kill an average of 50 to 60 people a year. Moving on with the sad stories, here's the African elephant. As this map shows, the African elephant used to live in all of Africa, even in Morocco, can you believe it? 27 million was their population, but today there's only 415,000 African elephants left. That means we have lost 98% of African elephants. I wonder what will this look like in 50 years? Bruh, literally humans are destroying every animal. We move on with elephants, this time the Asian or the Indian elephant, call it how you want. Can you believe that back in the day, they used to live in Iran and most of China? Today, there are fewer than 50,000 Asian elephants left in the wild, but there used to be more than 200,000. Tell me in the comments, have you ever seen an elephant with your own eyes? This next map shows us the black rhino. Black rhinos can currently be found in 12 countries in Africa, totaling an estimated 6,500 individuals. But they used to be found in half of Africa. This one is extremely bad. Can you believe that 100 years ago, around 1 million black rhinos lived on this earth? But good news is that between 2021 and 22, there was a 4% growth in black rhino populations. We move on with rhinos, this time the white rhino. White rhinos can currently be found in 5 countries in Africa, totaling an estimated 18,000 individuals. But they used to be found across most of southern Africa. Can you believe that 100 years ago, around 100,000 white rhinos lived on this earth? That means today there are 5 times less. But good news is that between 2012 and 2017 there was a 2% annual growth in white rhino populations, even though that's not much. Now let's move on. I will give you 5 seconds to guess this animal. If you did, good job. It's the giraffe and it's 4 species. Even though one species is not mentioned here, it's the white giraffe, because there only might be one white giraffe left by now. Overall, there are only about 117,000 giraffes left in the wild now, so every giraffe is important and matters. But in the early 1900s, there used to be a million. What the hell, humans, we shouldn't exist. Just compare the panda population in the 18th century and today. This is crazy sad. And now, look at the prehistoric area. Giant pandas can currently be found in 6 mountain ranges in China, totaling an estimated 2,000 individuals in the wild, or a bit less. Can you believe that 100 years ago, there were possibly more than 100,000 giant pandas living in the wild? That means there are 50 times less pandas living in this world today. But the good news is that between 2004 and 2014, there was a 17% increase in the wild giant panda population. Tell me, have you ever seen a panda? One of the most, if not the most dangerous bear in the world, the grizzly bear. Imagine if they lived in most of the states and Mexico today. So let's talk about numbers. Around 60,000 wild grizzly bears are located throughout North America, 30,000 of which are found in Alaska. But in the early 19th century, there were about 100,000 grizzly bears. They lived in much of the American West, from the Pacific Ocean to the Great Plains. Did you know that on average 2 people are killed every year by bears in North America? The American bison. They can currently be found in conservation herds across the United States, Canada and Mexico, totaling an estimated 500,000 individuals, with around 30,000 in conservation herds. But can you believe that 150 years ago, around 30 to 60 million American bisons lived on this continent? But the good news is that conservation efforts have helped to increase the numbers a bit, but still we have killed most of them. We already talked about the grizzly bear, but what about the brown bear? They can currently be found in parts of North America, Europe and Asia, totaling an estimated 110,000 individuals worldwide. It is not certain and known how many brown bears used to live 100 years ago, but just by looking at this map, you can see that we have lost a lot of them. Also, the climate change plays an important role here. Tell me in the comments, do brown bears live in your country? And if you comment, I will give you a heart, I promise. The woolly mammoths. The woolly mammoths once were widespread across the northern hemisphere, particularly in North America, Europe and Asia. Today, as you all may know, they have gone extinct. But at their peak, they had a population with estimates reaching around 10 million during the last ice age. Exactly, they used to live from Spain to Canada. But sadly, yeah, by about 4,000 years ago, woolly mammoths went extinct. The dodo bird. The dodo bird, once native to the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean, had an estimated population in the tens of thousands before humans arrived. But they used to inhabit the lush forests of Mauritius, an environment that is now completely inhabitable for them because of the climate change. By the late 1600s, the dodo bird was driven to extinction due to hunting and habitat destruction. This was only a few decades after first humans had encountered them. So yeah, sadly, the dodo bird went extinct around 1681. If you're still here, comment "I love maps" and I'll be happy, I guess. But until then, bye bye.